Algebra Checkpoint 7b, multiplying polynomials and solving equations with parentheses. Polynomials can be multiplied or changed from the area written as a product to the area written as a sum by using the distributive property or generic rectangles. To solve the equation with parentheses, first you need to multiply to remove the parentheses and then solve in the usual way. So for this first example, we're just going to multiply. So I'm sure you remember from before, you're going to distribute negative 5x times negative 2x, and then we're going to do negative 5x times y. So remember, negative 5 times negative 2 is going to give you a positive 10. And then remember, x times x is x squared. That's where that x squared comes from. I know a lot of times we think x plus x is x squared, but it's the x times x. For negative 5x times y, you're just going to have minus 5xy. Since there's a 1 here, negative 5 times 1 is negative 5x, and then x times y is just xy. Let's do something a little more complicated. All right, so we have for the next one, the quantity x minus 3 times the quantity 2x plus 1. I'm actually going to do this two ways. First, we're going to use our generic rectangle, and then I'm going to use the distributive property. So remember from algebra, you're going to write your factors on the outside. So we got x and minus 3, and we've got 2x and 1. You then multiply your factors and put them inside the rectangle. So remember, 2x times x will give you a 2x squared. X times x is x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 1 times x is going to give you a 1x. And then 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Don't forget, you need to finish by writing this as a sum. So we have 2x squared plus 1x minus 6x minus 3. Now, hopefully you've noticed that you can combine your like terms. 1x minus 6x will give you a negative 5x. And then we just bring the minus 3 down and the 2x squared. So you have 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. Now for distributing, or double distributing as it should be called, you're going to multiply what we call FOIL. First, outside, inside, and then last. So for my first, I multiply my first term times my first term. So x times 2x is 2x squared, which you'll notice is the same thing you get in your first box. You then multiply your outside times your outside. So we've got x times 1, which gives me 1x. We then have our insides, which is 3 and 2. Sorry, negative 3 and 2x, which gives you a negative 6x. And then our lasts, so negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3. Just like we did over with the rectangle, you need to combine your like terms. So 1x minus 6x gives you a negative 5x. Now you'll notice you get the same answer either way. Remember, you need to write these in the order where you start with your highest exponent, in this case x squared, and then go to your lower exponents, 1 and 0. Let's look at another example. So this one we're going to solve. And again, you could either distribute or you could use the rectangle. I'm going to do both for this. So over here on the left-hand side, you need to distribute. So we've got x times 2x, which is 2x squared. And then x times negative 4, which is negative 4x. I'm going to use the rectangle just so we have some examples. So I got 2x, and I have 1, and I have x, and I have 5. 2x times x is 2x squared. 1 times x is 1x. 2x times 5 is 10x. And then 1 times 5 is 5. So I have 2x squared plus 10x plus 1x plus 5. When I combine my like terms, which is always what you do first when solving an equation, 10x plus 1x will give me 11x, so I'm going to bring everything else down. All right, So hopefully you noticed that we have 2x squared on both sides. So when I subtract my 2x squared, they're going to cancel out. So now I have negative 4x equals 11x plus 5. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is subtract 11x from both sides. Remember, negative 4x minus 11x is going to give you negative 15x. The 11x's cancel on the right-hand side, so you're left with a 5. So then your last step is to divide by negative 15. So you get x equals negative 5 over 15. Now hopefully you remember from your algebra classes or other classes, you can divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5. So we're going to reduce our answer. Negative 5 divided by 5 gives me a negative 1. 15 divided by 5 gives me a 3. So my final answer is actually going to be x equals negative 1/3. On the homework for 6b, all of the x squared should cancel. But as we get further into the year, we're going to talk more about what to do when you actually have an x squared term. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, an email at mbrener@d131.org.